Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel and happy New Year's Eve. I actually was not going to do any more filming for 2022, but I thought, the holidays are over and I just really felt the desire to come down and get a card made because I have a birthday card that needs to be done. So I thought, what better way to spend a little New Year's Eve time than to get a little crafting done with all of you. So I pulled a variety of items. I thought this would be super, super fun to create. And the main attraction that we are going to be using is this really pretty wine glass die. It's really neat. It has a shadow layer, but it also has the wine glass outline. And then we have a little bit of liquid, which is so cute. And I thought we could do a little glass of rosé. So I thought this would be super, super fun and cute. I've been wanting to play around with this die set. I pulled a really fun glitter cardstock that I thought would be fun. I have an ink cube for later. And then I have a fun sentiment set. I am attempting a shaker card with this, so I pulled some really fun little sequins that I thought would tie really well with this paper, but also maybe make it look a little bubbly. So a little tongue-tied today, but I think we're gonna have fun. We're gonna bring it all together with this really subtle but nice embossing folder that has sentiments all along the back. I think this is really fun. And as a reminder, everything that I'm using, I will place links to down in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull some paper and we're going to start die cutting. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I have two little panels of 110-pound cardstock all ready to go, and you will hear lots of giggling in the background because we're having such a fun day. So there's going to be a little bit of background noise, but we're still going to have a good time. Okay, so 110-pound cardstock, I'm going to cut out. I want to cut out a couple of these, but I actually think I'm going to use some foam. And I think that's how I'm going to build my shaker. So I'm going to cut out one in the 110-pound. I'm also going to cut out my shadow layer. I think that will look nice as well. And then we're going to use that glitter cardstock for our little liquid. So let me grab my tape. Now behind the scenes, my new craft space is all completed. Renovation is done. Construction is done. So this is the first video that I am doing in my new space, which means I am super excited, first of all, but also I am kind of jumbled because I have to remember which drawer has which item I need because everything got all moved around. So it's going to be happy fun. Okay, I'm going to send this through my Gemini Junior really quick, and then let's get some, I'm going to get a foam panel out and we're going to cut some foam as well. Okay, so that is all done. Let's go ahead and grab these pieces, and you can choose any color for your little wine glass. There's our little wine glass. How cute is that? I'm just going to do a really simple white on white card. I really like that, but you can have fun with doing a really fun silver or gold wine glass. That would be gorgeous. Okay, and then I have my shadow as well, and keeping all of my tape because I'm going to do a little bit more die cutting. Now, I did grab a little piece of foam adhesive. So this is one of my favorite things. So this is a A2 size foam, double-sided foam, and so you have your little peel and stick there, and then on the other side a peel and stick there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this die, which again matches this, and I'm going to send that through because I want to build up some space for my shaker here. So let me send this through and we'll cut that out. Okay, let's see how that did. Oh, it did really good. Okay, so let me go ahead and just take this tape off, and looks like it cut through really well. So I want to keep the little backer on the adhesive until I'm ready. So let me keep that all intact. There we go. Okay, and then keep all of this. So I'm going to even keep this little inside piece because you can use that as dimensional foam. So we'll just use that for later. Now I think that's going to be, so this is my little foam piece. I think that's going to be enough, but maybe, I'm trying to think if that's going to give us enough space. I think, but I'm kind of wondering if I should do one more just to be sure. So maybe I'll do that. I'm going to send this through one more time. And then I'm going to grab some acetate so we can make the little window. Okay, I have all of my little pieces here, and I am next going to just bring in my little paper trimmer. I'm going to bring in my panel. Again, I'm going to use 110-pound cardstock for this, and I just want to trim this down just a little bit. So I am thinking I will trim it down to 4. So right now it's at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 standard A2 panel size, and now I'm going to trim it at 4. And then I'm going to trim it at, let's do 5 1/4. So I'm just going to take 1/4 of an inch off of each side, just so that my panel is a tad smaller than my card base, and that will be pretty. So I did that first because the next thing I want to do is grab my embossing folder. And because we have some very definitive lines here, I'm going to take my time and make sure I line that up really nicely. And I have that going in the right direction, so I just want to make sure that my sentiments are all really straight. So next I'm just going to run this through my spellbinders. So I just like to emboss on my spellbinders. You can go ahead and use whichever machine that you'd like, but I'm going to run this through really quick and then we can see how pretty this turns out. I'm really excited. I haven't used this just yet. Okay, I ran that through. And look, isn't that pretty? And it's so subtle. I love how that looks. So I'm going to use that as my back panel. And before I do anything else, let's bring in my card base here and we will go ahead and create that. So I'm going to grab my scoreboard. Okay, so this cardstock is measuring 11 by 4 1/4. And so I will place my score line at 5 1/2, so that'll be perfectly center. And then I will have a top folding card at the A2 size of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We'll get this nice and pressed down. And then I'm going to grab some foam tape. This is going to really be very dimensional. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to grab some foam tape and put some on the back of my beautiful panel here. Okay. And just about 3 little strips will do. I love the foam tape for a few reasons, of course, because it's nice and dimensional, but another reason is because I feel like it really straightens out an embossed panel, and I think it just looks really, really clean and straight and polished. I use it for the dimension first and foremost, but I also love that really crisp look that it creates just by straightening out that panel. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to try to shield the lights a little bit so you can really take in that effect, but I think it's so, so pretty. And I love that embossing folder because it's a variety of sentiments. There's sending hugs, congratulations, thinking about you. Of course, this is going to be a birthday card, but I think this will be really, really fun to have in your little collection. Okay, so now what I have, okay, so I have 2 of my wine glasses out of my foam. I got a little whoopsie there, but I think we're going to be just fine. And the next thing I'm going to do is start constructing my shaker. So let's move this to the side. I'm going to bring in my shadow layer, and I'm going to bring this one in first. Again, with that double-sided adhesive. Let's bring that in, and I'm just going to center that right on my shadow layer. And the reason I did the double-sided adhesive is just because it's a really quick and easy way to build up some walls for that shaker. So, okay, so maybe I'll try to line it up with the top. It's a little bit bendy because it's foam, but we can line that up really nice. Turn it and then just line the stem up right in the center there. Just take my time. And there we go. I think that looks really good. Okay, now, ooh, that does not look bad. Okay, not perfect, but we're still having fun. So I'm going to grab the next one, which I think is this piece. Is that right? Okay, I just lined that right up. And need to redo just this little side and lay that down over there. So what I have here is 2 layers of the foam adhesive, which I think turned out really, really nice. And I think that gives me lots of room in there. So now I need to do my acetate. So I think I'm just gonna actually trim that by hand. What I'll do is just use one of my dies as a guide, and I'm just going to trim a little piece of acetate for this little window right here. Okay, and so you can use, of course, your die cutting machine to cut out your acetate as well, but you know what? Sometimes it is just as easy to grab a pair of scissors, and it might be even a little bit quicker to grab a little pair of scissors and cut it really quickly. So my acetate has a little double film on it just so that it stays nice and clean. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to set it to the side so it stays nice and clean for me. Okay, so what did everybody get for Christmas? If you celebrate, let me know if you got anything crafty and fun. It is after the holidays now, so I cannot wait to hear what everybody got. So before we take off this additional piece of adhesive, I have some pretty sequins here that I thought could just serve as some really pretty bubbly in there. And now we don't have a huge opening, so I don't want to do too much. And in fact, I think that is just about good. So just a pinch, really, maybe a little more than a pinch. Let's get all those little extras out. And looks so good. Okay, now that they're in there, I'm going to take off my adhesive. Okay, just like that. I'm going to put my acetate over my opening to close my little window there. And now I'm going to grab my paper piece and I will close that up. Okay, you have to line it up just right. And the paper, of course, is more stiff, so it's easier to line that up. But how cute is that? Our little shaker wine glass. Isn't that fun? That's the perfect amount, too, because we are going to additionally cover this up. Now, what I did is I took a little extra piece of my fun foam that I had as scraps, and I cut out a little piece of my liquid area. So I have it in the glitter, but I also have it with this little foam piece just to build it up a little bit because I wanted it to pop out a little bit there. Oh, you know what I need to do though, Bethany, is actually, I do not want that to pop out. I think that'll be too, nope, I do. That will be fun. Okay, I do. Okay, so what I need to do though is that didn't have adhesive on it because the acetate covered the adhesive up. Oh my goodness, I wasn't even thinking. But what I can do is really quickly grab some liquid glue. And you know what they say about that week between Christmas and New Year's? It's just, you kind of, I don't know, in La La Land. And I think I'm in La La Land. Okay. There we go. Now we can glue that down. And what I'll do is grab a brick and I'll just lay that on there. Let that set while I prep this little piece. So I have my foam. And I thought this would just be really fun to have be another little layer of dimension. But you can skip this part. But I'm going to line that up just like that. So now we have a really nice thick piece. And that is probably good to go. And now we can add our little rosé. How cute. And I think the sequins really coordinates super well. Okay, so let's add our little liquid there. Just like that. How cute. Okay, let's also, I'm gonna grab, I just have a little bit of glue here. Just gonna pick that up. Okay, just clean that up just a little bit, and I think that looks super fun. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put this on our little card. How fun is that gonna be? Let's see if we can get some of this sequins moving around in there. There we go. So fun. Okay, now we will, oh, I love how it kind of fizzles up like that. It's like a little sparkling rosé. So I'm going to use liquid glue because I feel like we have enough dimension on our card between the shaker and the back panel. I think we're good to go. And turn this around, bring that down a little bit. So cute. Okay, now that is just so simple. And I love that the rosé is the color there. Isn't that fun? There's so much sparkle between the cardstock and the shaker. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to bring a couple little fun sequins outside of the wine glass just for fun. And against popular opinion, I'm not going to add a sentiment on the front. I'm going to add a fun little sentiment on the inside. And I'll tell you why. I really like the embossed look on the back and how that has our verbiage and our words. So I just feel like our words are kind of taken care of, even though very subtly. And so I think I'm going to leave it at that and just keep it super simple. But I'm on the inside going to use that really fun stamp set and do a fun little sentiment on the inside. So I'm going to grab my little wand here. Let's add a couple fun little pieces. Okay, and that is what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and grab my glue. I kind of like how that looks. And I'm going to just glue those down. Okay, so for Christmas, did I share what I got? I got a photo printer, which I'm so excited about, and I'll share a little bit more about it later. I've been printing photos like crazy. In fact, on Christmas Day, while everyone was playing with their toys, I printed lots of pictures for a photo gallery wall that we have in our playroom, which I have been wanting to do for, well, I think like 14 months. So it was so fun to do that, and I can't wait to share a little bit more about that. But I got a photo printer. It's awesome. And what else did I get? I'm trying to think. I had a really, really fun little Christmas. Okay, so that's it for the outside of the card. I'm going to grab the sentiment set that I pulled, which I love. Look at all of these fun little sentiments. I'll put it down on the mat so you can see. But I really liked, let's see, there's a couple for birthday, but there was one that said, "So glad you were born," which I think is so cute. So I'm going to go ahead. I love how skinny and small that is. And I'm going to put that right on the inside. I'm going to grab my Misti tool just so that I can get this really, really nice and straight, both with the grid lines for my stamp, but also, I'm going to open up my card, but also for, oh, I feel like I have something on my card there, but you know what? I know who this is going to, and she'll find it endearing. Fellow mama. She gets it. Okay, so I'm going to do "So glad you are born." Actually, "So glad you were born." And I think that looks pretty good. But as you can see, you have those little grid lines if you want to fix it at all. So let me kind of pull and straighten just a hair. And not aiming for perfection here, but let's see. I think that will be okay. All right, so let's see. I think I can still do that. Let me grab, I pulled this sparkling rosé color from Pink Fresh Studio because why not? We just did a really cute rosé glass with some sequins, which definitely makes it sparkling. So it seemed like an obvious choice. Okay. Let's make sure everything is where it should be. I'm going to close that, grab my stamp pressure tool. I'm going to redo that a little bit. And there we go. So cute, so crooked, but so cute. So glad you were born. Ah, I love it. Oh, this was a labor of love. Again, new craft space. it's going to be a new year tomorrow, and the point was it was super fun to create. I loved this. Okay, so there is my cute little card. I think that turned out really, really fun. I love how it turned out. I think it has so much fun sparkle. I think it's really fun for a birthday card, but so appropriate for a little New Year's Eve crafting session. And I just love how that all turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Also, I logged on and saw that this channel is at 90,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for crafting along with me. I love having you here, and I love hearing what you're doing in your own craft space. So let me know down below. All right, everyone, I will see you all in the next video. Be sure to subscribe if this is the first video that you are catching, and you will see what's coming to my craft table next. All right, everyone, see you soon.